Hi everyone, we've just had the third heat wave of the summer and people are increasingly asking, is it okay to fish when it's hot? Can't access the rivers during closed season. In the winter we've just got a deluge of floods, so can't get anywhere near the riverbank, so I'll be carrying on. There's a growing number of people that are calling for fishing to halt when there's a heat wave. When temperatures go up, oxygen levels go down. That does cause stress on fish and they can potentially die of exhaustion. But there's a few things that are massively overlooked that fish start to suffocate the moment you take them out of water. It's just that some fish are going to suffocate quicker than others. Regardless of the temperature, we just need to keep these fish out of the water for as little time as possible, because unless you've actually got the facts about how long that fish is kept out of the water for, it's all really subjective. It can range from a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes. It's best to unhook those fish in the water if you can, and if you can't, just take them out for a few seconds. And if you can't do it straight away, put that fish back in the water before giving it a second go. Some fish species are far more tolerant than others. So salmon, trout, grayling, barbel, pike, they're far less tolerant to low oxygen levels than other fish like eels, cyprinids like carp, tench, roach. Clubs and day ticket waters have closed largely due to poor fishery management. That's probably what's prompting other people to echo that sentiment that we should all stop fishing. My concern is that if we're not careful, we're going to end up talking ourselves out of fishing permanently. Moving water allows more oxygen to be dissolved into the water. So the tail of a weir pool, the wind-facing bank of a lake where there's a ripple, those spots are going to be far more oxygenated than a slack that's sheltered from the wind. And if you give that consideration before you decide where you're going to set up, that's going to make a big difference. Dissolved oxygen level doesn't just vary between water type and the local area within that water, but also water clarity, plant life, time of day, they all play a part too. Aquatic plants and algae, they're going to be releasing oxygen in the water throughout the day. Those oxygen levels are going to go or either go up or be maintained. Those plants will also make that oxygen level crash overnight because the night cycle of the photosynthesis process uses up oxygen. And in fact, the most devastating fish kills tend to occur in the early hours of the morning. Now, heavily stocked lakes that have got those more oxygen tolerant species in, they can also struggle because they haven't necessarily got those oxygenating plants. And the only thing they have got is big blooms of algae, and that can cause havoc on oxygen levels. And when the algae suddenly all dies at the same time, you get a big explosion of oxygen demanding bacteria. Don't assume that the oxygen tolerant species are any less of a risk than the ones in rivers that require a higher level of oxygen. It's all to do with the environment that you're fishing for them in. It saddens me to see anglers bickering and arguing and talking themselves out of fishing, because good practice negates almost all of the concerns that they're raising about low oxygen levels. And if the oxygen levels are that low, you're probably not going to catch anyway because the fish aren't going to want to be feeding. Our lakes, canals and rivers are all being pumped full of organic nutrients from agricultural runoff and from sewage overflow. It creates a greater biomass of organisms, but then that all collapses when you get these big algae blooms and bacteria blooms that I've just mentioned. The Environment Agency seem to have no handle on abstraction. They used to have all the abstraction data available online for the public to see. They've got rid of that over a decade now. The greater condensed the biomass of organisms is, because the water bodies shrunk in size, the less oxygen there is to go around. For about 10k, if you've got the land, you can drill a hole and abstract up to 20,000 litres of water a day. So you never have to pay another water bill in your life. Then there's less water that's going through as groundwater through to the water table, dropping the water tables and stopping the river from being fed through ground flow. So is it okay to fish when it's hot? Of course it is. The Bristol Avon has become a bit of a circus during the day. Swimmers, paddleboarders, all the lot that don't pay anything to use the river. And I popped down the other day with my mate Jesse, and I thought I would go old school carp tactics. Hot day, cold beer, bite alarms on, and see if I could catch a river carp. It's quite nice to do a sort of a style of fishing where you can just cast out and chill. Yeah, I mean, blimey, that is a better one. Just throwing the hook. Sweet. Nice fish, isn't it? Get onto the camera. Sweet. Cheers, Jess. Getting back. It's all right.